the state of Oklahoma, and they fought the Oklahoman people in the name of what? To be coexistence? What kind of love? The people spoken. This is a nation by the people, for the people, of the people. Why are you coming against the people? Because this is exactly the intention of the Islamist movement in the United States of America. And how do you know this? When they're fighting us on every little level, whether it's small or great. You know, this is a country is made for the brave and for the free. And this is the law of our land. And if it's not liked in the same way, there are a million places all over the world to practice Islamization for free. Why you're fighting Islamization in the United States of America, and this is the war.
Thank you, Kamal. We do have to take a break in a minute. I just want to remind you that our line is open, and we will soon take your calls after the break. Our number is 248-416-1300 if you have any questions for Kamal, Tom, and Waleed tonight. Also want to remind you our Jesus or Muhammad Marathon starts this Friday, November 26th, and goes all the way till December 11th. We'll have over 11 apologists in our studio, including Dr. James White. Waleed and Kamal will be back, as well as Pastor Joseph and many others. So stay tuned. That is this Friday, November 26th. We'll take a quick break, and when we come back, we will take your calls. Stay tuned.
Jihad has come to America.
Constitutes the most devastating series of terrorist attacks in history.
The only deen Allah accepts is Al-Islam. And whoever seeks any other deen apart from Islam will never be accepted.
Allahu Akbar! We stand together to win the war against terrorism.
But you too will make your destruction!
Welcome back to Jihad Exposed live on ABN. If you have friends who want to watch the show, you can refer them to abnset.com. This show will also be uploaded within 24 hours of its live broadcast on the website, abnset.com. Before we go to our first call of the evening, Tom, there are some people that say, listen, all we want to do is practice our religion in our mosques. We are not radicals. We don't hate America. We are pro-American. And for example, the incident in Orlando is an isolated incident, and there's no way that you can prove that 80% of mosques are funded by radicals. What would you say to, the average Muslim American?
When people tell me that, my presupposition is they're either confused or they're lying, one or the other. You have to analyze Islam through its threat doctrine of Sharia. If an individual, and the book we've written, Sharia, the Threat to America, lays all of this out in a very detailed fashion. There's an obligation by Muslims through the Quran, through the Sunnah, through the Hadith, through all the authoritative doctrines, through all the authoritative scholars through the years, that this is what Islam is. So when an individual says to me exactly what you just said, I say, okay, then either you are inconsistent in understanding your own belief system, in which case we can work together. If you're rejecting the threat doctrine of Sharia law, fine. you can pledge allegiance to the United States of America, or you're lying to me, because you can't erase 1,400 years of solidified authoritative doctrine. It's that simple. And now, when they say we're just trying to live nicely and have a nice family and all of that, I ask, are you trying to do that within a context of a Sharia-compliant lifestyle? Oh, no, we don't believe in all of that. So then the question is, if you don't believe in the fundamental principles of your faith, how do you call yourself a Muslim? I'm trained as a Christian apologist to deconstruct and dissect religious beliefs, and I do that with Muslims, and sooner or later, because they are taught not to be analytical toward the dictates of Allah as revealed in the Quran. If you question Allah, you're showing a lack of faith, and there's a problem there. So they're caught in a circular form of reasoning. And as a Christian, I try to help them out of that logically. But if they hold to that principle, then I say you're becoming an enemy to the United States Constitution with your belief system. For instance, to illustrate, I was debating a well-known imam in the state of Florida before 400 people in a Christian church. And I asked him, I said, Imam, if your view of Sharia law becomes the law of the land in the United States of America as you want it to, can a Jew be president? Without missing a beat, the imam said, no. And the audience gasped. And without missing a beat, this very smooth, slick imam said, yeah, it's like the Catholic Church. A Muslim can't be pope. And the audience of 400 people started going, oh, yeah, I guess that's the... And I said, ho. Let me explain what just happened. So to the degree that a Muslim is Sharia compliant, they become an enemy of the Constitution of the United States of America. Case closed.
Waleed, going back to the 80% of mosques seemingly radicalized, if this is true, why hasn't the government, why hasn't Homeland Security taken action if it's a threat to our nation?
Well, that's a very good question. I mean, some of our panelists here mentioned Musri. Musri writes an article with Joel Hunter, who is the new... I don't know what to call him, imam or priest or pastor for President Obama. So if you have the collaboration of these so-called pastors, Jeremiah Wright is also a revolutionary figure. We have to understand, a lot of this question that we get all the time is, is it an issue of naivete? Are the progressives in America, is the liberal Democratic Party in America naive to the Islamist cause? And I disagree that it's naivety. It has nothing to do with naivety. I'm going to give you 4 points on what I believe the reason is that they do not investigate this further. They do not clamp down on the Sharia and on the Islamization and the Muslim student unions and CARE and all of these things, is that because they agree with them. And here's how. The Muslim apologists and the scholars of Islam has been working in this country for a very long time, disseminating books and materials, talking about how Islam believes in the Big Bang. The Big Bang is part of Islam. It's in the Quran. وَالْأَرْضُ بَعْدَ ذَلِكَ فَاتَّقْنَاهَا and all these